Okay, so here we go. I'm going to try to coach you through what you're going to be seeing here. Cori gets me started getting to know the horse. So we spent a lot of time with me just standing there talking to Cori, letting the horse get to feel me, sense me, because what we know about horses is they have a sixth sense. And once they start to pick up on your emotions, your personality, the things that you naturally say and do, they have an intuition about you. And so the training that Cori works with, the horses are absorbing who and what you are. And then when you are asked to perform an activity with Cori, the horse is responding in a way that can help you grow. So if you watch initially, Cori gives me an assignment. She asks me to try to get the horse to go to a specific spot that I choose inside her pavilion. And I'm supposed to use a hula hoop to do that. Now think about that. You've got this 800,000, maybe 1,200 pound animal with its own personality and willpower. And I am now trying to figure out a way to take this very loose fitting plastic hula hoop and direct the horse to a place that I want to take it to. Think about how that works in your organization. You have people leaders. And people leaders, as my friend Margareta, a newfound friend of mine from Sweden, who is a consultant on leadership and training and just recently published a great book about courageous leadership. What we know is that when you are self-aware about your leadership style and you are introspective about how that impacts your organization, you can then start to get better at being a leader. Another part of sort of emotional intelligence, EQ, is when you're introspective about who you are as a leader, you can also start to sense how an organization is responding to your leadership, stepping outside of yourself and being more aware. And I think this experience working with this horse was definitely an opportunity for me to grow because, as you can see, the horse only cooperated a little bit at the beginning, and I was struggling, and Cori noticed that, and then she gives me some direction. Now, Cori gives me my second assignment, and what she points out through her direction is that sometimes we think leadership is all about us. We think that it is totally within our power to give direction to an organization, to communicate things through memos or town halls or whatever employee communication tools that we're using, Slack. We think that as long as we're communicating, the organization has the capacity to understand what is required of them and how they can participate. And what Cori now instructs me is, well, Rich, maybe you need to give up some of your leadership. Maybe this needs to be a more cooperative experience with this animal because this animal has a personality and maybe you're not acknowledging the horse's personality and so it's going to resist. How many times does that happen in a company? We announce a major new initiative and we just think we did a fantastic job with our internal comms, our video, the town hall that we live streamed all throughout the organization, and we are like, okay. And then 3 weeks later, we can see, based on the behaviors of the organization, resistance. We hear the mumblings through the grapevine of people cynically questioning our sincerity, our authenticity, and whether or not they're coming along with us on this journey. And me working with this horse and taking Cori's observations and direction to realize sometimes leadership means letting others lead. And it's not just that typical mindset we have as CEOs and leaders of organizations. It's the cascading downward. And as long as everybody's aligned with that cascading and they do their job, 2 days after my town hall, now they have their town hall, and then the individual people leaders have their group team calls, and now everything should be hunky-dory. And still we're finding that it's not. Well, that's partly due to the fact that the employees don't feel like they have any say in this leadership. And that's a tricky proposition. I know I have led re-engineering efforts. I have done org changes I have lived through crises like the first Iraq War, the second Iraq War, and the impact on the business community, 9/11 here in the New York area and what it did to us as traveling on business, being able to count on our budgets being there because the economy slowed down. And then, of course, most recently, the financial crisis and how it devastated so many companies. And look at what we've just lived through with COVID. Sometimes employees are living through experiences and feeling like they have no control. And then you come at them with some directive, some major initiative that you believe is going to be the saving grace for your company, your organization, your nonprofit, whatever, and you're not getting the buy-in. Well, a big part of that is because the employee is wondering not only what's in it for me, but if I buy into your vision, what's my role? How can I contribute? How can I take some control over these initiatives and incorporate them into my daily activities? If you are being like me in this scene, being the one who has to direct the horse, instead of taking Cori's guidance and thinking, maybe I need to sense what the organization is thinking and feeling. It is a natural phenomenon that I have seen in organizations of all sizes, that you are going to get a certain group of people at the front end of that group that are totally bought in. They don't need much more than your direction to get invested. You've got some people on the back end who are probably going to attrite. They're going to leave your organization. They are upset with you. They're highly cynical. And so you are not going to get productivity out of them. And then there's that great middle, where we have people with varying degrees of those two extreme personalities. And they may need more of a sense of control. And I believe that working with Cori, working with animals that can't verbally communicate the way I'm communicating with you now, the way we communicate through memos and town halls and video messages, I believe that when you're in a situation like that and you have to intuit, you have to pay extra attention to the way that the horse is reacting to you, I think it starts to last longer in a person's head. Where my shortcomings may be, where are the gaps in my organization for us to do things better, to communicate better, to lead better. Look at this wonderful testimony from the CEO of the Ellenville Hospital after participating in a training with Cori, and how they believe this was a phenomenal experience for their organization to truly build team connection, and for this particular CEO to build more awareness, some self-awareness. I think that as we explore this post-COVID environment and what it's done to all of us emotionally, people like Cori Nichols are so important to the success of corporations, mid-sized businesses, foundations, small enterprises. You need to think about the kinds of leadership training and experiences you're bringing to your organization and start questioning whether or not that conventional stuff works in an environment where we are so deeply skeptical, we are so deeply sensitive to things because of all the craziness the last few years. And I think you need to pick up the phone and give Cori a call at Hudson Valley Horseplay and start to broaden your mind, maybe go up there and experience it with a small group first, and then start selling it into your organization. So that's my perception of a really great experience. Cori, I want to thank you so much for that experience. I've been around horses all my life because my eldest sibling, my sister Janet, has always had horses. And I've been around them since about 9 years old. And what I want to say is that I didn't come there skeptical, but I did come there with a mindset. And even though I knew kind of what I was getting into, Cori, you had a major impact on my introspection and self-awareness as a person who leads in many different capacities, and how I need to be more self-aware in the moment. Please comment. Let me know whether or not you agree. And by all means, click on the link in this post, click on the link in my YouTube channel if you're watching me there, and give Cori a call as soon as you can. And stay tuned for more videos from Storytelling That Sells.